Welcome to the Ace Podcast, where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, but more specifically pop culture and entertainment. I'm your regular host, Will the Greatest, and with me I have my regular co-host, the real Alexander. How are you doing today, man?
I am good, man. It is late as hell for both of us, so we doing backup duty. We going back and shows we wanted to catch, but didn't get the chance to. So I'm excited to give those shows some love today. Give those things some love today.
Yeah, it's a big superhero roundup episode because there's a lot of fun stuff that we didn't really get a chance to talk about, I think, during as they were releasing, and then schedules got caught up. But I guess to let people know, it's how have you been doing, man? How have things been going for you in the past month? I think it's been since the last episode.
Well, I guess there's two ways I can answer that, or three ways. Romantically chaotic, living life, pretty good, making some adjustments. Professionally, great. I'm about to shoot a short film pretty soon here.
Ooh.
I'm going to be in a play. I'm one of the leads in the play. I'm excited for that. And I got some business opportunities with the YouTube channel I work for, and I'm excited to see those come to fruition once everything's said and done. I don't talk to you about those before we started recording. But yeah, that's how I'm doing. How are you, bro?
I'm good. I had my own life transition, but it's all good stuff. It's I moved. That's been nice. Work is busy, but good. It's my life, day job stuff. And then relationship is very good. Always thankful for that. And I just recorded last night. Finally got the motivation to record a review for one of my old videos. So I have to start the editing process for that soon once I get all the footage and stuff I need together. But that's done so that I can do that, knock it out, and then move on to the next thing that I want to do video wise. It's my content output is very different from you and the team over there. Because it's just significantly less frequent. But yeah. Other than that, things are okay. Just still trying to put my feelers out for auditions, but otherwise, yeah, things are good, steady. Just adjusting to new life since the move, but yeah. But I guess to kind of hop right into it, this Monday, out of nowhere, totally unprompted, we got the official quote-unquote teaser trailer for Thunderbolts. It's just a flat-out trailer. There's no teaser to it.
Trailer. It is
actually, we got two trailers. Oh, shit. I forgot about another one that I guess we can talk about, too. We got the trailer for Sinners. But we can start with Thunderbolts. Actually, do you want to talk about Sinners first?
Yeah, we can go with Sinners.
And then talk about the Marvel shit?
Yeah.
Sinners is that project that's been discussed in kind of hush-hush. It's the newest Ryan Coogler movie that seems to be about vampires and something with the clan. It's a period piece.
That's what the reports are saying, but the trailer didn't actually show any of that, which I was surprised at.
No. Trailer has a lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue, a lot of restraint. The one thing I definitely noticed, though, was because I didn't notice it really until I think Straw Hat Goofy had pointed out, and I didn't realize initially that it was Michael B. Jordan playing twins, and then you can see it on the poster. One of those twins was definitely supposed to be played by Jonathan Majors before all the... that's my theory. That's not official. But look at the way he's dressed and the way that he's styled. He looks like how Jonathan dresses and styles like himself. It feels like it was a part where it's they were supposed to be brothers, and then they just reworked it to twins after everything happened. That's my theory. And I think the one with the wide hat, who I think was the red one.
Okay. That is an interesting theory. I don't think they look like twins, but obviously both of those are very talented, handsome black men who definitely.
No.
area leading role. So
I don't think it was originally written to be twins. I think they were. So it was probably went from fraternal twins and they switched it to identical twins.
okay, I bet. Well, either way, I still think it's interesting. Michael B. Jordan's doing double duty on this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him do accent work before, so he's putting on an accent.
I don't think
movie.
so either.
So that's pretty interesting.
But
it's funny because it's Ryan Coogler, who we've become accustomed to in recent years, doing, popular movies like Creed and doing stuff like, obviously, Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. But this feels like a Warner Brothers movie in the way that it's shot, because it's IMAX and it's like grittier but I think that being said, I think it's really cool that Black artists like Jordan Peele and like Ryan Coogler are given these chances to stretch their limbs and grind their teeth creatively on bigger Black-led projects that are more heightened concepts and that allowed for wider audience releases. Because to make a predominantly Black cast and an all IMAX is awesome. It's something we probably would not have seen even 10 years ago. So the fact that we've got films like Get Out and the continued success of Ryan Coogler as a writer and a director are allowing us to get these projects that we would not have otherwise gotten. So we thank people like Jordan Peele and we thank people like the team behind Lovecraft Country, so we can have movies like this, and I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I am too. Even as you were discussing, I can only think of a handful of Black auteurs that seem to be given damn near free reign on all their projects just because they have been so critically and financially successful. And the ones that aside from, I'd say the one of the biggest is probably Spike Lee, Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele, and Boots Riley, in my opinion. I don't know how the fuck Boots Riley has gotten his projects cleared, just because they're so radically leftist and what's what I'm looking for? Communist. So vehemently anti-establishment. I'm that's weird that Hollywood is just letting that go. But they also marketed those movies like shit. His movie and his TV show. So I'm okay, they crippled both those projects.
I still need to see his TV show. I saw only maybe
its
first episode.
It's good. It does kind of hit you over the head with a lot of the themes and messaging, but I understand why. In this day and age where you have to be super obvious about shit. It's not to say that critical thought and nuance is dead, but I think for certain people it's look, I'm not wasting any time. I'm telling you what the message is. This is the message. Somebody gets one of the themes lectured to them for 3 minutes as a cutaway scene because it's a character's power is literally exposition.
That's hilarious.
Which I'm it's the finale. It's an interesting watch. It's I think it's a really good conversation starter. I put Donald Glover in there too. I call him an auteur.
Definitely.
He very much has an eye and voice. I'm definitely curious to see more Black women that come to mind. That's not to say that there aren't Black women directors what's her name? Gina Prince Bythewood, who did Woman King, and
Nia DaCosta.
Nia DaCosta is another good one. But I do want to see more auteur voices. Maybe Issa Rae, I think, is one that maybe comes to mind. But I can't think of a crazy amount of things she's directed beyond Insecure. And I don't think she directed Little. I think she just wrote it. Or she could have directed it, but I don't think she did. I think she just wrote it and starred in it. But but I'm going back to Sinners and everything. I'm interested in the premise. I have been since it was announced. I'm curious to see where it goes. So I guess we'll see. And yeah, like you said, I'm curious to see Michael B. Jordan hopefully stretch his range a little bit and do some character work. It's not.
It's not like you said, Malcolm B. Jordan.
Malcolm B. Jordan, the man himself. But no, I'm definitely God, you just reminded me of Space Jam 2, where it's like, oh my God, it's Michael Jordan. It's Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, hey, fuck y'all. That's a good joke.
It worked. It works. That movie's
but yeah,
Space Jam 2.
Yeah, people hate on Space Jam 2. I'm like, look, it's a sequel to Space Jam. Don't.
What did you expect? Right.
Your standards do not look. Space Jam 1.
Space Jam 1.
The great.
You both got to take them for what they are.
Yeah, you can't. It's like going to the Paw Patrol movie and it's like, why are all these puppy dogs saving the day? Bitch, it was on the label. The fuck? Space Jam. We're in space, and it's a basketball jam. We jamming, bitch. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Get what it act like you want it. Like, don't be weird now because there's robots and shit. Like, stand up to stuff. Like, look, if the movie says killer clowns from outer space, don't be weird and be like, that was dog shit. Bro, what did you think it was going to be?
Right. They're saying Shakespeare.
Yeah. Like, I think this is an aside, and we'll talk about Thunderbolts. But it's just like, I remember, I think, talking to you, a movie that I came around to really, really liking from a couple years back was The Mitchells versus the Machines.
That movie's great.
It's a great movie. The title fucking sucks.
It was originally called Connected, and then they switched it to Mitchell's versus the Machines.
That's bad too. Both those titles are ass.
Yeah.
Like, both those titles suck. Like, look, some of y'all got to learn how to sell your products. Like, I guess we this can lead us into Thunderbolts asterisk, Thunderbolts twinkle. But it was like a title like that. It draws you in because it's like, okay, why is their team called the Thunderbolts? It's like, we know there's Thunderbolt Ross. Thunderbolts is a team in the comics, but the asterisk, I think, is what makes it unique. It's like, because it was originally just the title with like some slant metallic font. But now it's different. It's like yellow and simplistic, and it has that asterisk, which apparently is supposed to indicate something. Everyone's thinking it's Dark Avengers. One theory I've heard is that it could be indicative of the sun because Sentry is in it. But I guess just talking about the trailer, which it was really just like a high-def version of the trailer we saw at Comic-Con. There are a couple scenes added with like Bucky and stuff. But it looked pretty much the same, just cleaned up in clearer definition. We know now that is her name Victoria Delafontaine?
Something like that.
Something like that. White woman, long name. Is the one that purchased Lorraine from Seinfeld. Purchased Contessa something Delafontaine. Contessa whatever. Is the one that purchased Avengers Tower. We get to see a lot of B-listers coming back around. I know we talked about it a little bit the other day. We got a lot of redesigns. Honestly, I guess a minor critique I have is the only redesign I really like is because we already seen John Walker's costume, so that's not really a redesign. That's just them using it. Is Ghost. I think her costume is really dope. Everyone else, meh. It's fine.
It's interesting because one, I will say that I really liked the trailer. I think
it's a good trailer.
The trailer with a scene, a character-based scene, really gets me intrigued because I'm like, okay, it starts with the only two good things we got out of Black Widow, which were Yelena and Red Guardian.
You did. I mean,
I'm like, they were the highlights, bro. Like, I was talking to those two.
All right, yeah, I can't disagree with that.
The only thing worth watching that movie for. But
damn.
It starts with them, and I feel like with the poster being Yelena, she's going to be the heart of that movie.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, you're making me like, I can't. I'm trying to defend Black Widow, and I'm struggling to like remember it because I was trying to gaslight everyone. I'm like, no, guys, it's not that bad. It's okay. And I mean, it is okay. It's aggressively okay.
It's aggressively okay. And it's not time outside of those characters. But anyway, watching the trailer gets me intrigued because it brings back a couple of things. One, who is this Bob guy we've never seen before? And it's this interesting mix of a couple of characters that similar powers, but they're doing like their own sort of rendition of the Black Ops, but we're not really wanted thing. So the Marvel is doing a Suicide Squad esque thing, but
Yeah.
not quite in the way that Suicide Squad did it.
Yeah.
I really like all the characters we have, but going back to what you said about the costumes, um, when they first showed us the costume and the teams at D23, David Harbour's Red Guardian had a really cool one. It was like red and black, but they've gone with this like bulky red and gold
Yeah, red
kind
and
of thing.
gold color,
Very
which
different. So hopefully
I'm
he has
not
a movie
huge on.
two costumes in the movie. And then
Yeah.
I think Ghost is all right. And listen, I'm not mad at the Taskmaster redesign. I know you're not really a fan of it. It looks like kind of
I'm
corny.
not really a fan.
But hey,
Ju-
if you're going to go with a more feminized version of the Taskmaster, for me, it's definitely a step up from what they had in the last movie. So as long as it's better than that, I'm cool with it. Because I feel like before
they're
they're trying to make it ambiguous, like he's just a guy, he's just a girl. We got to appease China, but now they're like, okay, no, it's Taskmaster with like a more slender figure. But it's interesting looking at the lineup because you have Bucky, Super Soldier, Taskmaster, Super
Ju-
Soldier,
John Walker,
Guardian,
Super
Super Soldier.
Soldier.
John Walker, Super Soldier, and
Hmm.
like two or three of these motherfuckers have shields, like Captain America. So it's like
Yeah.
half
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like
shields. Like
most of them are just people.
the only no, I mean most of them have either a heightened ability or powers. The only one who's just a person, a regular is Yelena.
She's just a white woman, and that's her power.
She's just a white woman with skills. That's
Yeah, she's a white woman that can throw her crotch around your neck and choke you to death, like
so
her sister did.
yeah. So it's it's gonna be more grounded,
Her
but
power is being Florence Pugh. It's like, oh my god, I loved you in Midsummer. Get choked out.
Florence Pugh with an accent. But no, I really do like this band of misfits thing that they're going for, like a almost like a not grounded Guardians, but I guess in a sense like grounded Earthbound.
I mean,
ragtag Guardians type of thing.
yeah, because it's not like higher spy thriller like Cat 4 is like more political espionage. This seems more like dirty, dirty spy, like dirty Black Ops. Like,
So,
okay, if Cap is more James Bond, this is more Nathan Drake.
for sure. Yeah.
Like more adventure, gritty, and I'm cool with that. I like the tone. I'm curious to see the characters' chemistry. Taskmaster's costume is honestly on par with the original for me. I mean, as long as they're getting a costume that works best for their actor and performer and helps them move, cool. I wish they would go all in, or at least get more creative with the skull design, because I don't think it goes far enough to be like distinct to me. Because it just looks like, oh, we took Ghost mask and just put eye holes on it, which is like, okay, because I think Ghost costume is a huge step up from her previous one. Elena's is so what?
She looks like Mysterio now with her white dome.
Which I'm okay with that, because it's like she looks creepy, like a ghost would. I mean, John Walker's costume at the end was great; it was spot on, so he looks good.
I like it. I don't like that he has a beard. It looks weird. The Cap costume looks odd to me.
But
David Harbour pulls it off though, weirdly. But I don't think it works for Russell Wyatt.
David Harbour definitely pulled. Well, I think they have beards for similar reasons of just being like out of the game and disgruntled, like disgraced soldiers for slightly different reasons. So it's like Wyatt Russell. I hope he does not like a clean shave, but I do hope he like shaves it down, because I think him being like a peach fuzzy Cap could work very well for him, especially because I distinctively remember when he first showed up at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, fully clean shaven. My mom fucking hated him, and I see what she meant, because he looks weird with like just bare jaw, like Evans does, because they have different jaw structures. But him with like a little, hey, look, a beard is a makeup for dudes. So like a full fleshed out beard like what we've got, I don't think works for him. But if it's just like low, I'm like, I think that works for him, and it
Yeah.
makes him stand in contrast.
Oh.
As we were, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, it's funny because obviously the Thunderbolts is essentially Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. But what makes this work is that it's essentially the Suicide Squad, but done properly. Which is, these are all
Kind of
done,
yeah.
not properly in the sense that with the appeal of that. The appeal of that concept is like, okay, these are all characters you're familiar with now, brought into a situation where they're unlikable, and this is where they have to be together.
Yeah,
which is not something that is a stranger to the Marvel universe, especially with it being something like Avengers or something like Guardians or hell, even the Marvels. But I think what makes this one interesting is that it's people that. It's like a mix of heroes. It's a mix of antagonists. Because, like, what? Bucky, antagonist. Ghost, antagonist. Taskmaster, antagonist.
most of them are redeemed antagonists, because Yelena was an antagonist in
it was Red Guardian.
In Hawkeye. Even though Bucky got a redemption, he was an antagonist. Everybody was an antagonist at some point or another. They're all an antagonist at some point. So now they're more a ragtag team of anti-heroes.
Well, I guess Yelena could technically be considered an antagonist in Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, Yelena was another redeemed-ish antagonist. As we're talking, though, it's making me think that everybody's been theorizing that the asterisk means that it's going to change the name to Dark Avengers. Now that I think about it, in comparison to the actual Avengers roster, I don't think it's Dark Avengers anymore.
I never thought it was.
I thought it was because it's like, oh, it's a team of people like forced into a situation to work together. But even if you include Sentry in that lineup, that is a shitty fucking team.
Yeah.
Like, as you think about their powers. So it may not be.
I'm thinking confusion, especially right when you're having an Avengers movie release the following year. Like, oh yeah, this is the Dark Avengers, and now we're gonna have the big Avengers movie. Like,
no, but I mean, yes to that, but it's like I can't see this being Dark Avengers because the team is too fucking weak. It's not that
super soldiers.
It's mostly super soldiers, a person that can phase through walls, and even if you throw Sentry in there, who's a heavy fucking hitter, like it's not a good balance in comparison to like the Avengers, which has like wizards and other heroes and tech base. So it's like it's all across the board.
They're too similar to be an Avengers team. They're all essentially
that's like
different types of the same thing.
So now I'm trying to think of who they could be, and maybe what's their name? It just happened to me. Not the Offenders. This might actually be. They might make them the Defenders. Remember we had the Netflix Defenders, which was just, again, four motherfuckers from the hood that all met up to fight this might be the MCU Defenders, which, again, is a bunch of motherfuckers in a room linking up to stop bad guys.
Yeah, my original thought was the asterisk, because isn't the asterisk mean like it's susceptible to change, right? So
yeah, usually.
Because my original thought when I saw the asterisk was like, okay, motherfucker's gonna die and it's just gonna be Thunderbolt by the end. But
everyone's gonna die except for Ghost or some shit.
Yeah, like, okay, I guess we just have a Thunderbolt. But then that wouldn't work for Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, for sequels and shit like that. I'm trying to think. It's like, who could they be as a team? And most of these don't work. Not the Midnight Suns, that's for damn sure. Not the Runaways. Definitely not the Avengers. Yeah. Probably not even the Defenders, even though Defenders are street level. Because they're not street level enough.
We already have a Defenders team if the Netflix shows are now canon.
They ain't making that Defenders team canon. Those are the unofficial Defenders.
True.
those are the local defenders. Probably not the champions. It's definitely not A-Force. They don't have enough women. It's not Armor. There's not enough robots. It's not Agents of Atlas because there's no Asian people.
Well, technically, yeah, it can't be A-Force, but yeah, it's and I guess not including Sentry. The team is, if it's just the 6 of them, it's half women, half men. Taskmaster,
Oh, you're
Ghost,
right.
Yelena.
You're right.
Yeah. Bucky, Red Guardian, and John Walker.
I'll be
But then
damned.
Sentry tips it over. But yeah, it has more women than a proper Avengers team has ever had.
It does. It's not the Annihilators. I'm looking at all the options of what this team could be.
I don't know, but the thing is,
none of these teams make sense.
I think the only one that would be semi-satisfying would be Dark Avengers, but that
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's just 6 regular ass motherfuckers. Definitely, it's not champions because they're all assholes. Like, you'd be doing that ironically.
Well, yeah, I just also don't know what would be satisfying to change it. So I really just like
it's the Council of Kangs.
Oh God.
As you were talking to him, we were talking about John Walker. You reminded me of a conversation I had with Malik where we were remembering Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, oh yeah, Battlestar, the man whose epigraph should probably just say "born to die" on it. Because all that motherfucker did was like show up. It's like, yeah, man, we gonna get him. You and me, you, the white friend, me, the black best friend, thrown into a wall, died immediately. He didn't have a chance in dark.
Oh no.
Like that shit was almost funny. It's like, damn, bro, you got washed.
Instantly.
Jesus Christ. Who the hell could this team be? Because none of these names fit them. Not the Femazons. Oh, Jesus.
The Femazons.
That sounds like something that I could get jiggy with, but,
I don't know.
Doesn't Amazons imply women? That aside, while I'm looking at these names, but otherwise, it's a good-looking trailer. It's well cut. I'm enjoying the tone. It doesn't seem like it's going to be, like, too goofy, but it seems like Yelena and Red Guardian are it seems like one of those cases where jokes come about because personalities clash, which I think is fair. Like, it's like, it'll be funny from a place of, like, dysregulation and them not working well together as a team versus, like, punchlines, which is fine. I think that's actually very realistic because it's about cohesion.
Based off of this team, Red Guardian's the only comic relief, only funny character in it. So I don't think it's going to be an overly jokey movie. I think it's going to be largely grounded that dips into the fantastical with someone like Sentry, which I'm really shocked if they're doing Sentry proper. That's a pretty big concept to put, especially in a Thunderbolts movie. So I have to imagine they're going to alter that from what he is in the comics for sure. But that being said, I think it's, for at least if the trailer is how it presents itself, it is really going to be largely this story about found family and these outcasts who hate each other connecting. Which that's what I care about. As long as you allow us to further our connection to the characters, then you have a hit on your hands. And hopefully at the end of the day, it prioritizes these characters, their relationships, and their journeys.
Yeah. And I did find one that could possibly fit, more so off the name, not off the roster, because the roster is mad different. The Invaders.
Okay.
Because that sounds like a team that America would make. The Invaders? Where it's a bunch of a bunch of spies and espionage and ex-Black Ops and soldiers. The Invaders would absolutely make sense. So that may actually be who it is.
But the thing is, I'm where my head is at is like, why even? Because Kevin Feige's teased it. And I guess kind of the title in the trailer has teased it. But why change the title at all? Like, what's the reasoning for a title change to begin with?
And that's why you gotta see the movie.
Yeah.
You know, because like their team name might change because of the events of Cap 4. Because that comes
The
out
movie
first.
comes out right before it. I mean, I guess, yeah. Because maybe they're happening at the same time, so it's possible.
Yeah.
I would hope that whatever's happening in the movie would be that whatever change would be internalized, caused by events within the movie. Because if you're gonna, I don't know, I don't think that's a strong narrative choice to have a movie that came out a couple months prior affect the title of your movie that's coming out. Because I think that plays into the problem of the Insider Baseball Club, the Marvel's kind of experience. You want these movies to stand on their own, even though fucking we're 30 movies deep. You still want each property to stand on its own rather than have it be a puzzle piece. It's great if it is a puzzle piece, but you want it to be both, not one or the other. I mean, you ideally if it can be something that stands on its own entirely, not needing to connect, cool. But you'd rather it be that and a puzzle piece than purely a puzzle piece.
It could also be the Offenders, which has Red Hulk on it. But
and
no,
again, with us speculating, I'm also thinking like, okay, if it is one of these names that we've listed, who is it? Not who is it for, but like, is it gonna get a big pop? Because a lot of these are like lesser known team names.
Yeah.
If you change it from Thunderbolts, which is arguably underneath something like the Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, is at least on the comic book basic level, known as a team that can be akin to a Suicide Squad. If you're changing it to one of these other names, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, is it going to be like, oh shit, that's crazy, they went from Thunderbolts to the Invaders? Like, is that like narrative? Is that like comic book geek satisfying to do something like that?
I mean, it could be, but to your point, I'm wondering, it's like, is it a change in team name, or do you think it might just be like a change in title, like it might get expanded or something?
Yeah, because he said that the movie it'll happen once the movie's released, so maybe
that could
that's
be
a
a
tentative
possibility
title
too.
until the movie's released.
It's the Secret Avengers.
Hey, man, it could be.
Oh, bitch, if I'm right. Oh!
Secret Avengers right before Secret Wars?
Yeah, it'd be like Thunderbolts colon
cool.
Thunderbolts colon the Secret Avengers, because they're all secret agents. Ooh, I figured it out. Woo!
We're going to save this podcast, and I'm willing to bet. Because out of all the ones you've named, I feel like that one feels the most likely. Secret Avengers.
Sure. Why not?
I'm not mad at that one.
Thunderbolts colon the Secret Avengers, just like underneath. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, these guys who've never been heroes. The only ones who really wanted to be heroes out of that entire team are Red Guardian and John Walker.
Yeah, and we saw how that went. Got a wife in prison and a dead best friend.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm not mad at Secret Avengers, but yeah, I think only time's gonna tell before we get to it.
Yeah, but good choice of music. I like the little bits of cinematography we got. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's successful and does well. It's nice it will be nice to have a couple movies that are a little bit more on the ground. Ironic while mentioning Sentry and his whole woof, all of the ugh that comes with that. I guess tangentially before we move on. Given just the extensive history of Sentry and mental illness being very deep into his backstory, I do hope they do that justice. Just because his particular diagnoses are very sensitive and very commonly misunderstood topic. So I hope they do handle that with a little bit of good consideration, given the whole dissociative identity disorder stuff and the amnesia and all that. But again, it's a first trailer, so who's to say? But I do hope they put a little thought and consideration in how to execute that if we're doing the full Sentry story, including the Void and all that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they're able to handle it with taste and with care.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, we're all just looking for good taste, but yeah. Beyond that, you want to go on to X-Men '97?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Um, I mean, shit. It's like we're not gonna go episode by episode, just like full spoilers all the way in. I guess we could talk about some of the Bo DeMeo stuff too, maybe at the tail end. But I don't know, man. That was probably one of the best animated series of the year. Um, it was like basically a home run for me. I
Yeah.
didn't have any issues really with anything. Like the action was good, the melodrama was great, Magneto was right. Um, I don't know. It's just like everything was good. The returning cast was well used and sounded pretty good. I know people had some critiques about Rogue, but it's like I don't know. The writing was impeccable. That episode on Genosha was beautifully well executed. High stakes. I'm super excited for season 2 and also super duper nervous. But yeah, I don't know. It was just better than I could have expected it to be. And yeah, well paced, well done, great tease. I don't know, man. I don't know how they pulled that off. And I'm scared now because now I have expectations that they need to live up to.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really well done. I wish I could go back to like a sit down rewatch of it because I really enjoyed the episodes. The animation was great. The way that they would alter the opening credits with the alternating members of the team was great.
Mm-hmm.
When you have these moments letting you know that this isn't your grandma's X-Men or like we've updated
Literally.
to show
It's
right
been 30 years.
30 goddamn years. We've
Yeah.
up to show you that there's blood now, there is consequence now. This is still remnant of the show you grew up with in the 90s, but it's grown up with you. We're allowed to show these things because we have earned it. And it takes like 5 episodes, kind of an easy win, and then we start having characters make questionable decisions that do feel more human, that do feel more adult. And I like the expansion of and allowing characters to be more, I don't think malleable is the right word, but allowing us to have variety, because at least in those
Mm-hmm.
first, was it 10 episodes the season was?
I believe so. Yeah. Which
Which
well
majority
done
of
for
it,
10. Yeah.
yeah, well, very well done. But I think the thing that you expect with a cartoon like this, or hell, even any superhero cartoon, or most any superhero cartoon, is that even with like what the characters are wearing, they have different outfits, both in and out the suits. And by the end of the series, we've seen a couple different looks. Like we get Mohawk Storm, but we also get like long haired Storm. We get Scott in his
Yeah.
in a different classic costume. We get Wolverine in another costume as well. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And then we're exploring story arcs that didn't even exist when the original series came out,
Mm-hmm.
and we're doing it from that same point of view from the 90s, which is really dope. I'm honestly excited to see what the creative team comes up with. And we know that Bo DeMeo was like the spearhead of that ship. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
they can save some of that magic and some of that inspiration that he brought to that show and to that creative team, and they're able to keep that spirit alive and make it as good, if not better. But only time will tell at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Even thinking about just like I don't know where to start. It's just so much praise, when you have so much positive to kind of say about a project. On the one hand, you don't know where to start, but on the other hand, it's like you don't have much to critique.
But
Like
it's also
if
been a
they're
number of months since we've seen the show. So
That's true. It was back in March. Um, let's see. Yeah, it's like I really like like I was saying, I like the action. I'm impressed with how they handled the animation because that seems like that was very much something that could have been very hit or miss. Okay, I
yeah,
guess. Mm,
I can say, well,
mm,
I can have a couple of things that I do remember, even though it's been like since March. I was
okay.
impressed with the way that they were able to handle a love triangle and make it
Yeah.
adult. I was impressed with the way that they were able to play with um play with sexuality in that show. I was impressed with the way that it was able to um how do I say it? They were able to really do a lot and with their episodes because they were like what actually 30-minute plus episodes and
Yeah, their use of time was very well done, which is, and I'm not gonna make a comment about any other shows.
it was
Um,
very well paced.
yes, it was exceptionally well paced, particularly for an animated series.
And it really allowed these characters to expand beyond what they have been thought to be since then because obviously for a lot of people growing up in the 90s the flagship or standard for the X-Men was that 90s show but then moving
Mm,
into the 2000s in the last 10 to 15 years that standard has then altered and been adjusted or at least what a majority of people thought the X-Men to be was the Hugh Jackman films, right? And people
mm.
thought that Scott Summers sucked, and like Jean was kind of just in the background,
Yeah, she
or that
just fainted.
Rogue, yeah, or that Rogue was just like a helpless girl. But no, this show has told you like, no, Scott Summers is a great leader. Rogue is a morally, I don't know if morally ambiguous is the right word, but she does things that
I
are
I
not.
would call her like morally ambiguous in so much as um she
She's also
doesn't
badass as well. She's
that
more than biggest and badass. But what do you
yeah,
think?
and I agree. So I think what I really like about the series is that despite them being a team, the predominancy of it, especially having Magneto at the helm as the new uh, leader for a long time until Charles returns, is kind of. I think the big thesis of the show is showing that Charles' way is like flawed and wrong
Yeah,
because he very much is a person that describes to kind of like that model minority myth where it's like, well, let all the normal looking mutants interact with society and be the ones that speak to it, but like even Scott doesn't have a high tolerance for bigotry when he, checks that newscaster chick, while Beast is like, no, come on, can't we just be civil? That we're just like you and me. But I like the fact that even the last couple of episodes were literally called Tolerance is Extinction, and even
mm.
the whole genocide on Genosha, which echoed way too many real life historical events. Unfortunately, despite the fact, like, if I recall, that was actually inspired by the Pulse nightclub shooting from a few years back.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Or that was one of the inspirations for them doing that. It just so happened that unfortunately it coincided with like a real life genocide, that's still ongoing. But like stuff like that, like Magneto was just bar after bar after bar the whole show. And by the time Charles returned, you know, on the one hand, show could have been a little gayer. That's just me. Other than Morph and their sexuality. God bless them. Shout out to the non-binary rep. But like Charles coming back like, what's become of my X-Men? Oh no, this isn't how I would do anything at all. It's like, look, bro, we had the most evil, genocidal, racist robot infecting people with like a techno virus to wipe out an entire minority population of the planet just because they're different, which is insane, but people believe that. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It just like it all works, and even my critiques, I was still entertained. Really,
Yeah.
like if
Same.
there are things that I not even took issue with, okay, except for one, and it's at the finale. Like the minor critiques I have is just like how they executed Storm's arc with her hair, especially just like culturally, given how significant black hair and like changes in black hair mean to us culturally. I think they should have done it a little bit differently. I like where she ended with her costume and once she got her powers back, but I think we should have had her go white costume, loses powers, then the mohawk.
Not
You know,
reverse, right?
yeah, versus starting with the mohawk and the white suit just to make it different. Because the mohawk is punk. That's what it symbolizes, is that rebelliousness. That's why she has that leather outfit. So it's like, I haven't even read those books, and I can see that just because it's very, like, it's obvious theming with, like, character aesthetic and dress. So it's like, have it starting with the mohawk kind of defeats the purpose of her going into it. They could have added more texture to her hair, but again, it's just that's a personal preference. Morph and the Wolverine stuff could have been slightly more obvious, though it was confirmed that like Morph was saying "I love you" to Wolverine, which is just like, go for it, man. It's like they can change into anybody and anything, so just figure that out. Even just like handling the Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey stuff again, while fast, it didn't bother me. I'm just like, oh, okay, we got here a little quick, but the one gripe I kind of do have at the end is them trying to redeem Bastion, which I'm like, no, fuck that guy. No, absolutely not. No, he tried to wipe all of us and people like us off the planet, and like when Magneto was about to drop Asteroid M on Earth, and I saw a little bit on social media, it's like, well, it's like, oh, he shouldn't have done that. You'd be one of the people that Magneto kills. I'm like,
Like, he's right.
it is what it is. Like, it's like, look,
Like, I get it.
I would be nice to mutants, but I don't blame him. Like, look, he survived the Holocaust just to be in another mass extinction event. Fuck him. Fuck people. It's like I'm not saying violence is the answer, but it is an option, and he took it.
You did. You did.
It's like, look, would I have dropped a meteor that big on Earth? But no. But I understand. I see how he got from A to B.
I can't blame brother.
Yeah, it's like, I don't blame him. And then, but no, it's like the X-Men at the end just being like, Bastion, wait, it's like, you're like us. You're just a mutant trying to fight for acceptance. And I think that feels like executive interference from a narrative that they probably really wanted to tell, where it's like,
but then we can't have the X-Men go full fucking brotherhood now. They gotta try, because that's their whole thing, trying to find the
that's the Xavier in them. They're not. Here's what it is. They're not radical enough as the X-Men would actually be.
Yeah, but then they kind of like they kind of counters the intention behind what Charles is doing to fight for inclusion.
Yeah, that's that brainwashing, bro. That's that brainwashing. You got a damn.
You could brought the Brotherhood if you were mutant.
Absolutely. You got a damn. Okay, here's my thing. You can't unprovoked set up a bombing and genocide of my people and then try to kill me and my team, and then one of us is like, wait, you can be redeemed. Bitch, no, you can't. Fuck you.
We gotta...
And the rock you came in, fuck you and your mama.
We gotta be like that one jazz player, that one black jazz player that reforms the KKK. We gotta be like him. He's Charles. He's the best of us. he has more patience. He's the most patient man on earth.
Yeah, it's like
conversations.
Because like if we're being real mutants as a collective, especially mutants led by Magneto, which it's like, and I give Rogue props for popping. Well, God, what was the villain's name? I'm forgetting. Not Bryant. Start with a B. Shit. He was a good villain. I did like him as a villain ultimately. Damn it.
not Bastion. It was
It
it
was
Cinder?
Bastion. That was it. Bastion.
Oh, she bought Bastion.
Yeah. Um. So it's like Bastion, just getting low key dog walked by Rogue. Rogue had some of the best moments, flinging Captain America's shield into the Alps and into the mountains and shit. But I'm like, that was well deserved. It's like, well, I'll see what the government can do. It's like, okay, see this shield, bitch. Fuck you. Go get it. But no, it's like it's not even about being. It's like you can't. Had they added that theme earlier in, which would have required there to introduce Bastion earlier to have like that interrogation or have that philosophical debate, then yeah, I think it could have worked. But where it was introduced in all the context up to that point, I can't see. It seems character wise just inconsistent for this whole time to be like, we're fighting for mutant rights, we're fighting for mutant acceptance. This person's trying to kill all of us from the inside. Well, it's like, well, he has a right too, even though he has internalized mutant phobia. No, fuck him. I'm sorry. It's like I hate to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, but we won't be able to save all of you. Not all of you are going to make it to the revolution. I'm sorry. So, Candace Owens, you are not making it to the revolution. Kanye West, you are not making it to the revolution. I'm sorry. You ain't making it. Fucking Clarence Thomas, you ain't making it. Fucking, who was just in the news from my state? Fucking, what, Rob Thomas or whatever that bitch's name is? You're not making it. You're especially not making it to the revolution. You're a literal black Nazi. You ain't making it to the revolution. You can't save everybody. Just that it's fascinating too because the show was run by a black gay man, but all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That's why we have that saying. Not all muties are on duty. I'm sorry, bro. Bastion, you getting left, bro. You ain't making it with the rest of us.
The X-Men couldn't be made today, and this is exactly why.
Because that's. I have a.
Is Magneto the Dr. Umar of the mutants?
No, because Magneto is right, and Magneto is very seldom wrong. Look, if Magneto said he's going to build a school, I would actually believe him. I'd be like, damn, this. It's like, yeah, he's determined.
And you get it, because I feel like this was obviously the X-Men was made in the 60s in a different time.
Yeah. It's a different discussion around bigotry.
We gotta find inclusion. We gotta find a way to be united. But yeah, just the temperature of America has changed drastically, or people have woken up more since that time. I feel like some people still have that old school belief that we can find unity, but we just live in such a polarizing time. It makes older ideals harder to stand by and sympathize with. And yeah, so it's interesting. Like, does the concept of an X-Men feel outdated at this point?
It does, in the sense of Charles Xavier's vision, because it's not even too optimistic. It's too utopian. It doesn't account for the realities of humanity, which it's like, I know it's like, oh no, Magneto, don't give in to the rage and everything. And it's like, that's why I like the titles and how hard and direct it is of like, tolerance is extinction. It's like you're asking for the oppressed group here to be the one that tolerates their own disrespect.
To be the bigger man, to try to...
You're asking the person being disrespected to tolerate the disrespect for the expectation that possibly other people will accept them. That's, same with like the model minority myth. It's like, well, if I do the right thing and look good and dress the way that's socially acceptable, and these are phenomena that happen in multiple marginalized groups and minorities and whatnot throughout history. It's like, the respectability politics, essentially. And that's why it's like, I like it because it's just uncovering how in the 60s, that could have been ideal. But people kept going. People kept fucking up. People are getting loud on the internet and petty and getting ignorant over stupid shit that doesn't matter and making complaints over, ridiculous bullshit, trying to strip people of their rights. Like we saw a black man die this week who got killed when evidence was very clearly against that he didn't do the crime, but they said, fuck it. No one wanted to help him. Hundreds of thousands of people came out to watch like the justice system fail. So it's like the X-Men as like a series, I think is still very relevant, but the X-Men as led by Charles Xavier as a team doesn't have a place, and I know it's set in the 90s, but even by that time period, there were still those issues like that were starting to come to fruition in the early to pre-internet days, very much still analog era. So it was like a lot slower for things to get around. So it seems simpler, but now we're in an information age where things get around so rapidly that just we get desensitized. And just like and you watch a fictional series and it's like, man, that's so crazy that like someone went in and wiped out all those, innocent human beings. And it's like, yeah, don't turn on the news because that shit's happening for real.
That's the tough part, man. Because I can see Charles's perspective, and I feel like saying "fuck 'em" is like it's an understandable route, but then also like Charles is like trying to do like the long form thing. If it's not like this generation, it's the next generation, and so on. But then there's this account of like now we're living in this age where like everyone's living in these echo chambers, and the internet is designed to be divisive. So it makes his vision seem further away from a possibility unless there was like a major event that causes unity. Because I used to even the belief that I used to be of the naive belief that if aliens came down, like like Watchmen, right? If aliens came down, like
some Independence Day shit would happen. We'd all link up and be like, "Fuck them" specifically,
Yeah,
it happened in World War II.
That's an optimistic position that lacks nuance, but really, it would only cause further division because now we're living in a state of the internet. We're living in a place where the world's extremely divided. We're living in a place where we can't even agree on what facts are anymore. So, and not to mention the factor of greed and self-preservation, not only is on an individual level, but on a cultural or national level, an international level, because I feel like many other countries may have the same beliefs that certain political ideologies of America may have as well. So it does make it tougher now seeing where the concept of Charles's vision for the X-Men started in the 60s and now where in America where we have these new components that weren't even conceived of or considered are now at play. It makes that older ideal of a united world seem less plausible.
Yeah.
That being said, I like it in concept, but in reality, unless there's like a hard reset, it doesn't. At this point in time, it doesn't seem like it's possible.
Yeah.
Or plausible. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it does not seem very plausible.
Not in our lifetime. Which is like, I get the notion of fighting for a better tomorrow. I do. It's like, and that's something I support. It's like, and where I would probably disagree with Magneto is probably more of a policy of like a form of separate but equal. But I also don't think you can expect somebody to be complicit or subservient to like their own abuse or disrespect and to just like take it, without them having the autonomy or freedom to just like choose whether or not they want to stay. So if someone wants to leave because they feel like they're being disrespected, why stop them? It's like, I'm sure digging deep enough in somebody like Magneto, he's an extremist in his own right, but I think he seems more agreeable because you can understand his rage, and at the same time, it's like I think there is an empathy there where it's like, aside from him being like a survivor of one of a completely separate awful mass extinction event, historically, at the same time, just like I think there's not enough stories that account for the rage of someone forced into a position of compliance or tolerance.
Yeah.
It's like because that rage is perceived as inhumanity versus just a human emotion. Like that, it's like no one wants to. This might actually lead into a conversation later on, but like tropes of like the angry black man, the angry black woman, the submissive Asian persons, like a lot of like harmful, negative, bigoted stereotypes and whatnot that come about. No one really thinks about how much that would probably piss somebody off to be seen as pleasant or comfortable or digestible, and leading to a lot of internalized issues. So it's like Magneto is one of a character in fiction that can exemplify that, and people are okay with it. But I guarantee you, if Magneto was Monica Rambeau, people would be like, what's wrong with that black bitch? Why is she so pissed off all the time? It's like it's like, and that's why my theory about like, people are like, oh, how do you do X-Men a day? We already did the race allegory. We already did the allegory for homophobia in the early 2000s, to mixed results. I honestly think the best way to do it and the most relevant way to do it, the allegory now, is for a notion of like, how do you navigate the world with the reality that your identity is intersectional? Mm-hmm. So you're not just like, you wouldn't just be a mutant. You'd be like a mutant in a certain community. So it's like you could be rich and a mutant. So how the world interacts with you is very different versus being like poor and a mutant, or you're poor and a mutant and black. So it's like think about somebody like Storm, who had like 2-parent household, but she's a black woman, but she's an Omega level mutant. So as a black woman, you're disrespected and feared, and your emotions now are an inconvenience for other people's comfort. But you also have some of the greatest power on the fucking planet, and you could wipe out countries in a sneeze. So it's like, imagine how you have to look through the world, and then a bald dude in a chair says, hey, look, you have to be digestible to the world. What? What, bitch? What are you telling me? It's like, meanwhile, the short Canadian guy who's been drinking his way through half of the last 2 centuries, gets to fuck around, break shit, tear up walls and concrete, and everyone's like, that's just Logan. He's depressed. Why does he get a pass?
I mean, does he get a pass? I feel like he's been a major outcast, but I definitely understand what you're saying, though. Like,
yeah, it's like Cyclops has to be the upstanding guy. He has a disability, technically. He can't take his glasses off or he's going to blow the fucking mansion up. Like, he goes to bed. He has to go to bed with shades on like this. Like, I know sometimes that has to be annoying. I've worn headphones for too long and be like, damn, my ears hurt. This motherfucker is over here every day. Just like, every day in this bitch.
Sleep with him on, or just have to close his eyes so he can find his glasses.
Yeah, like he be on top of Jean. He has to make sure she don't put her hand up to his face while they're having sex, in case she actually hits it and he blows her head clean off.
I'm surprised this far into it and no one's come up with like fucking contacts for this man.
You would think. I feel like they probably had some shit like that on Krakoa, which like this show was well timed with the end of the Krakoa era and everything like that, and they're going into a new season of X-Men. But I guess to wrap up the civil justice part of the X-Men discussion, I would highly recommend checking out Derek Bell's Faces at the Bottom of the Well. I believe it's from the 90s. He has a short story near the end that I saw an adaptation of in the movie Cosmic Slop from the 90s, which nobody talks about much, but it's inspired by a Parliament Funkadelic album. So the story is called Space Traders, and the premise is essentially alien. Because when you mentioned aliens and the Unity and the Independence Day shit, it reminded me of this. Space Traders. The premise is the aliens come to Earth and basically say, "Hey, look, we will give you all of the money and riches that you can imagine, America." But you have to, actually, I think they said all of Earth. We will give you just like this insane amount, like quadrillions, an unimaginable amount of money. All you have to do is you have to give us all your black people.
Fuck off.
And the story, at least the short film version, so I'm not sure how accurate it is, but I do have the original somewhere on my hard drive, follows a black Republican and his family in the middle of this. And what happens? And I mean, like, when I first heard the story, I initially heard of it from a guy on TikTok. I think his name is Professor C or Dr. C, the Latino American guy. He's a critical race educator and I think PhD candidate. Really smart guy. But he had mentioned it. And the minute I heard the premise, I'm like, well, we know how this one ends. I may not need to, it's like, I don't see this going with much of a happy ending for us. I do want a remake of it. I really want to read it because I kind of want to. It's something that I would be interested in seeing a remake of, but where it like has a happy ending, kind of like Get Out, but giving it a happy ending where it's like, and then the aliens take them to paradise and everything's great for all the black people. But yeah, it is definitely a case of whatever you think is going to happen. We know what's going to happen in a country born and bred off of capitalism that still does in the prison industrial complex, treat our people like property, like tools to be used and discarded just as fast. It's like, it's like, well, give them up. You give us all your black people and we'll give you riches beyond your imagination. It's like, all of them, you say? Well, so what qualifies as black? Why is that the first question you asked?
God damn it.
It's like, when you say black, what do you mean by that? It's like, God, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Doomed, hopeless.
Yeah, so it's just like, I wonder if shit like X-Men, like the premise of X-Men, because I think X-Men is always going to be Marvel's strongest teams with some of its most interesting characters. I'm definitely curious to where 97 is going to take all of the themes that it's began and set up from this first season of 97 into its next at least 2 seasons. I know we got confirmed for what we're getting, but I wonder if it'd be interesting to see a storyline where it's like, hey, look, just do Space Traders with mutants, because mutants could actually fight back in that situation. Where it's just like, hey, you know what? We will give you riches beyond your imagination, but you have to give us all your mutants. And just imagine the fucking chaos. Like that's a free event right there. You could literally, you use the name too. Call it Space Traders. It's like, look, we'll trade you.
Who's going to be the one rounding up the humans or rounding up the X-Men?
Yeah, it's like you gonna get them, and then because then that's how you bring the Sentinels back and shit. I mean, they're still around, with just like, what is it, Axis or whatever the fucking thing is called.
Ooh, I got a fucked up version of that. What if it's the Illuminati is the one that's approached by the Space Traders?
That'd be crazy, but it would make sense. A cabal of white guys that think they know everything and what's best for everybody
about it. Like they have him not out of that meeting.
Oh yeah, just like Planet Hulk. It's like, look, we need to shoot Bruce into space. Yeah, same thing. A bunch of aggressive, conceited white egotists thinking that they know all the shit, and to be like, well, should we tell Xavier? It's like, you got Cerebro, he'll figure it out. Acting fake surprise. Oh, Charles, we thought you would know. Of course, we wouldn't support this. We didn't think Charles would figure it out. Got rid of that Cerebro. Tony, can you handle that Cerebro thing of his? Can you just get the short circuit?
Yeah, that probably be an extremely divisive event. But yeah,
So that's the point.
exactly. I'm just wondering how they're going to handle X-Men in the MCU. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, like that was my argument for them in the MCU. Was like, just do intersectionality. What does it mean to be not only a mutant in the age of social media, but like a mutant in Proud or a mutant in Young? Bring Spike back. Whatever happened to him? We haven't seen him since X-Men Evolution. But it's like, if you like your mutant power is I don't know, some silly shit. It's like, oh, you have like atomic boogers or some shit. It's like, damn.
Okay.
Yeah, he weird, but he can pass,
Right.
versus like the literal cat girl at your school. It's like, what's her power? It's like, oh, that shit would be like Sky High, where it's just, I can only imagine like the bullying that would happen to you, especially because like as genes, that X gene activates probably around puberty. I can only imagine how fucking crazy that would get. Whereas like, damn, I had my period. Holy fuck, I have devil wings. Jesus Christ, this is a rough week for me. It's like I bled through my good white pants, and I'm a half bat. Shit.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I don't think the MCU would do that because I feel like that's asking them to have something that requires more thought and more depth. Punch 'em, beat 'em ups, and like I feel like they'll like if listen, if depth was like a 6 level thing, I feel like the furthest Marvel is willing to go is 3. So
I mean, they go there every now and then, depending on who they let on the project. Because they damn near let Ryan Coogler do for it whatever he wants. Because for 2 movies straight, he's just been like, look, the CIA are the real villains here. Don't worry about it. Listen to me. It's the 3-letter organizations that are trying to set up and destroy the black communities. And like, he's been saying it for 2 fucking movies, and nobody's paying attention to him.
Nobody's listening to this man.
Nobody's listening to him. It's like, for 2 movies, everyone's like, oh, that Namor guy is something else. I'm like, no, you know who his villain was? The fucking CIA. He's like, get those goddamn Americans out of here.
Yeah, he was real for that one.
He was real. He set it straight for 2 movies, and just Kevin Feige's like, I mean, we have government contracts, but hey, it is what it is.
We're still selling toys, right? Okay, yeah.
Those Black Panther toys sold out. Yeah, let it slide. What are they gonna do? Which is actually, that is a crazy thing. I think Ryan Coogler almost got arrested at a bank that one time.
Yeah, that was
God damn. They tried to get him too. They tried to shut his ass up. They tried to take him out.
He gonna put that shit in his next movie after Sinners.
Yep. Black Panther 3, All Eyes on Me or some shit.
Black Panther 3, All Eyes on Me. Age up to T'Challa's son, cast Dancing Idris.
Sure, why not? I think we're especially after our conversation with E-Man, I'm definitely down for a T'Challa recast. It's like or 2 minds, especially with this. Was it?
Or alternate universe T'Challa. Like, I feel like
Secret Wars is the best time to do it. Get an alternate T'Challa. There's so many talented Black and African actors out there that can step into those shoes and carry that torch just strong and proud. And I'm cool having Shuri as the Black Panther, but I would want like a T'Challa moving forward. Because it's not like we don't have strong black men in the MCU, but it doesn't hurt to have more. We can have more strong Asian men, more strong, Native men, more strong like Latin American men, more strong, positive superhero role models for little boys to look up to.
You're saying that more strong Asian men. You just reminded me they did Shang-Chi dirty by giving Dustin Daniel creating Spider-Man 4 rather than having to do Shang-Chi 2.
Hey man, them fight scenes about to be heat though.
Really though.
Yeah, I know Simu Liu somewhere like texted him like, I mean, what is like, dog? What about me? It's like, hey man, we'll make you what a street level dude. He's red, you wear red. You know, we'll figure it out. It's like, but my character's in San Francisco. Yeah, he can fly on a plane.
Oh, we'll work it out.
We'll work it out. You know, we'll get him a Delta flight. It'll be like, oh no, the 10 rings are leading him to Brooklyn, to Manhattan. Ooh. But
no, and then they're gonna bring Spider-Man to fucking San Francisco.
Oh God, you're right. What? Which is weird because he's broke, so we don't know how he's gonna get there. There's a minor aside, I guess, just touching on the Spider-Man forecasting. I told you who I want to play Black Cat, right?
Sydney Sweeney.
Well, because she's out, you know, because she was in Madam Web. So it's like, since they can't get Sydney Sweeney, and also we know that Peter doesn't like white women, given his track record. You know who it needs to be?
Who?
You already know what my answer is.
Who Black Cat used to be?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did we talk about this already? I'm sure we did.
Chloe Bailey.
Oh, that's damn. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Shit.
Perfect casting. Perfect casting. She can act. She can seduce. She got that body. She can do it all. She's the perfect one. Unless it's like Coco Jones, then or you know, right? Like, I'll accept Coco, and she tall and beautiful. Look, it's just Black Cat has to be a black queen at this point, because y'all fumbled Sydney Sweeney. You messed up. You messed up the one that it really could have been if it was going to be a white woman. At this point, black queens. That's all you got left.
A dark-skinned black woman with white hair and the Black Cat on there.
Woo!
Talk to me,
baby. Listen, because look, I got myself caught up. If it was Chloe Bailey or Coco Jones or Keke Palmer, fuck it.
She's too old for Peter. I don't want to see Keke Palmer or Peter.
I want to see Keke Palmer as Rogue or something. I want to see Keke Palmer in the MCU.
I don't want to see her as Black Cat though.
Fair enough. Now she's too old, bro. She our age.
I guess Tom Holland's our age. Yeah, okay. All right.
He's a couple years underneath us. Keke Palmer ain't that old, bro. She's just a mom. That's it.
Oh, Keke Palmer. Let me look her up.
She's like 20. She's like 30, 31. She's not that old.
Oh, you're right. Damn. You're only a couple years older than us. Shit.
Yeah, she's barely older than us.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Chloe Bailey, I know, is younger than us. I just had a crazy one. just to throw it out there, just to throw this into your imagination, because I'm feeling evil and chaotic. Willow Smith would be funny.
Don't do that. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about that.
He said, "I'm about to log off, bro. Get this shit out of Get this out of here."
Marcelly. Make sense of Black Cat.
Yeah.
You're already a bug.
Oh, this sounds that just exited my body. Thinking of SZA as Black Cat, we wouldn't be prepared for that as a community, as a society, as men. But no, it's like, I think Chloe Bailey makes the most sense because she could definitely be the temptress to Zendaya's girl next door. Because if you look at Zendaya, you're like, wow, she's beautiful and she hangs and she's cool. Then you see Chloe Bailey and you're just like, oh fuck, you about to get me in trouble. I got a woman at home. I can't be around you on these rooftops.
I got a wife.
Yeah, it's like, I got a whole. Look, you see her robbing. It's like, you're not gonna stop her. No, the fuck. Let her still. She probably needs that. You know, like when who's your girl? When she was Selena Kyle.
She was Selena Kyle. Zoe Kravitz?
And the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, when Zoe Kravitz was Selena, it's like, she got it. It's hers now. This is why I couldn't be Batman. I'd be getting caught in much more than crime. Commissioner Gordon called me. It's like, Batman, we need you. How can you help us save the city? The Joker's blowing up the buses full of children. It's like, hey, y'all better sort it out. y'all better call the bomb squad and Crime Stoppers because me and Catwoman are here. I got tangled up. Catwoman got me.
Oh no.
Baby, can you put butter on my popcorn? Oh no. I'm losing static. I'll call you back. Uh-oh. Cut that bat signal off too. Wasting my electricity.
I'm caught in a TV. I can't get. Did you say he's caught in a TV?
I can't hear you. Click. Turn off the bat. Cell phone. I don't know. Was there anything else we want to say about 97 expectation wise or otherwise? I mean,
Damn, I forgot we still on 97. Nah,
barely. I think we've mostly gone off it. Yeah, I just hope season 2 is good, and some voiced cameos would also be cool. But other than that, Daredevil was just putting in work when like the city was going into riots. Why was he like laying people out?
Oh,
like, dog, that was random.
Hands.
He was just fighting motherfuckers, even though the world's about to end.
Matt gonna do what Matt gonna do. Listen, you can't stop him.
Yeah, what was that one video I sent you on TikTok where it was like, where was Matt Murdock during the alien invasion? It's like, hey boy, where you coming from? He's just like, hey man, you know me, just staying out the way. Because I'm like, yeah, the fuck is the blind man gonna do to the aliens? He gonna throw them billy clubs up into the spokes of their space bicycles? It just start blowing up. It's like, got one. Shit, there goes my billy club. Like, you throw that shit, it's gone.
So Molly Wop the Chitari.
Right. Just one blind dude. What was it Roy Wood said? It's like, look, as long as they don't come over into Hell's Kitchen or Harlem, we won't have no problems.
Right. We good. We told you.
You stay in your segment of the borough and things will be safe. You know this.
Won't have no problems.
Yeah. Keep that shit over there on Staten Island. We won't have no beef. Okay. What's the next one we got?
For me.
The Boys, season 4.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it before.
I was entertained. I remember because they dropped the first 3 episodes one night. I was up in the bed with my partner. My partner was asleep, and I'm like, "Oh, I finally got time. I'll start The Boys and catch up." Forgetting that these were hour-long episodes, hour and a half long prestige, highly developed television. So I started the first one. I'm like, "Damn, this is good. Let me go to the next one." Finish the second one. Damn, this is good. Let me go ahead to the third one. I'm in the middle of the third one and turn and look out the window. Why was the sun coming up?
Damn.
I was like, fuck.
My brother was
fuck my sleep up. Like, luckily my partner stayed asleep, but god damn. Oh. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely more of a setup season, but it definitely did some interesting stuff. The way I cackled at their parody of D23.
Oh, brother. That's
man.
The shade was real.
And it was firing on all cylinders. You know, it's like, this was our most expensive budget movie ever for training A-Train, and we're going to cancel it as a tax write-off. I'm like, woo, you shot that one in 2 different directions. Damn.
That was a 2-for-1 special right there.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody was on their A game. I think the weakest point was probably Frenchie's storyline.
Frenchie and Kimiko, because that shit went nowhere.
Yeah, it was like he was hooking up with the son of a family he killed, which that's just messy. Like you everything you had coming to you, you deserve that. That was you. And ain't nobody tell you to fuck that boy, that man.
And then they did the laziest thing ever because they didn't know what to do with him. He felt so guilty.
He went to jail.
He went to jail, and then for him to not be in one episode, for them to immediately be back in the next episode. Like, you telling me you set up a multi-episode arc just to have an excuse to write him out of an episode because you didn't know what to do? Just to bring him back and repeat the arc he had from the last season?
Right. Also, I want to give you props because I think you called it early on when we were talking about the boys of Butcher's
Imagination. Or
of Butcher's imagination thing. Because I think you were the one that brought that to my attention. You're like, I don't think he's real. He's not interacting with nobody. He wasn't picking up the cups and shit. And I'm like, yo, that's a good theory. And then when it turned out, I'm like, that motherfucker knew. As soon as he popped up, he said he ain't real. That's a figment of his tumor.
yeah, brother. And a movie. Minor spoilers aside, there's a movie that did that recently, and it. Do I say what it is? Do you ever plan on watching? You think you'll watch all of Ryan Reynolds' movies?
Oh wait, are you talking about the one with the animals?
Yes.
I know the exact. Okay, I have seen that movie. I know that movie.
You saw If?
Oh fuck, no! I was thinking of a different one.
Ooh.
The one where he was a killer.
Oh,
the one where he was a sociopath. It was directed by.
I'm thinking about Voices. The Voices.
Yes, I was thinking about the Voices.
I was talking about If.
No, I don't particularly plan on seeing. Wait, when did you see If? Wait, okay, pausing this boys' conversation to talk about If.
I think that movie frustrated the shit out of me.
So
because,
okay, what? Yeah, what happened?
I'm gonna spoil If, right?
Okay.
So the conceit of this movie, it's about this little girl who goes back to stay with her grandmother because her father's about to have like heart surgery, and the entire time it's about her working with Ryan Reynolds, who is like an agent / works in this this thing about reassigning imaginary friends to kids that don't have them.
Wait, is the twist that he was an imaginary friend helping her cope with her trauma or something?
Nigga, it's her imaginary friend. And the movie acts like it's a twist. The movie acts like it's a fucking twist with the
the minute you reminded me of the premise, I'm like, oh, so Ryan Reynolds is an imaginary friend as well.
Woo!
I figured it out.
But the most frustrating part is the fact that this like fucking 10-year-old girl goes and helps these people, these kids, helps these imaginary friends find kids to be placed with, but it doesn't even ask or even entertain the question of what happened to her imaginary friend, and then treats the fact that Ryan Reynolds, the only human in this imaginary friends world, is an imaginary friend. Like, you never even question the fact that she doesn't have one.
Also, how boring of this little girl that her imaginary friend is just a dude. Just a regular ass dude. Like, other people are dreaming up like dragons and fairies, leprechauns, like flying sheep and unicorns and shit. She gets a guy that makes jokes.
So he was originally
bitch, your imagination sucks.
Like Bobo the clown, but ever since she forgot he was her imaginary friend, he just dressed like a dude now. Don't dress like a clown anymore. So that's like why she forgot him. But this nigga never interacts with any of the humans. So I was like, yeah, he's an imaginary friend. And I figured it out like fucking 15 minutes into the movie. Like his first scene, I'm like, oh, this thing is not real. But then the movie treats it as if it's a fucking twist. I was like, this is so, because it doesn't even ask
what happened to her imaginary children.
They never even entertained the question, and then reveal at the end it was him the entire time. I'm like, no shit. Why the fuck is there a kid walking around helping imaginary friends, but she doesn't have one? That's okay. That's like that's treating your audience like you're stupid. Because like at least misdirect with like a fake imaginary friend.
It's a twist for 5-year-old. Like the fact that you told me the premise and I'm like, oh, the twist is that he's an imaginary friend too. Just immediately figured it out.
Otherwise, it's fucking weird because like his first scene in the movie is him sneaking to a little girl's window to fucking retrieve an imaginary friend, which, I'm sorry, just Ryan Reynolds sneaking to a little kid's window is fucking weird.
Yes. So that is very creepy.
Unless he's not a real person, then you got some explaining to do. So
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know if there's a
my
good
quick aside
save for
on
that.
that movie. Well,
Ooh, that movie did bad.
it did.
190 on a 110 million
I'm
budget.
sure. I'm sure it did critically bad too.
Apparently, it was mixed, but yikes. Eee. But
I never felt
anyways,
more spoon fed in my life. But anyway, yeah, that Twist in the Boys was done better. Even though
yeah,
I did see it.
like I could feel it coming, but when it finally showed up, I think the way they executed it was really fun. Where Butcher was having the hallucinations of his slain wife, and he just goes, "Will you shut the fuck up?" I'm like, "That's funny."
Yeah.
That's what a great reveal. Like, so even if you see it coming, it's just like entertaining how it's executed. A-Train is slowly working his way back into redemption after the fuck shit he's been on for the last, honestly, 3 seasons.
Pieces of coonery. Yeah.
Right, top tier. Oh my god. So let's talk about Sage and Firecracker, aka smart Candace Owens and somehow stupider Marjorie Taylor Greene. But that's who they said she was based off of. They said she was based off of Marjorie Taylor Greene, just flat
Did they
out.
say she was based off of Candace Owens?
That one I don't think was confirmed, because Sage is actually extremely intelligent. God,
I still don't know what her angle is. I guess she was like, I just did it because I was bored. Like, I just
yeah,
wanted to see if I could.
yeah,
I
she's
was
the
like,
most interesting Joker we've had in like 15 years since the Joker from the Joker from Harley Quinn, which is like 3 years. You know, when he suddenly became socialist, which I'm like, oh, this is the best writing I've seen of Joker since Lego Batman Joker, the best Batman movie.
yeah, I
But
think she's a very interesting character.
I
Because,
fucking love her. Like, I think we talked briefly about her when she first appeared, and I love her just because like she exists as like multiple commentaries, which I wouldn't expect the boys to pick up on. Um, Aside from it's just like because I think we had talked about since she's like the master planner and orchestrates a lot of different like subterfuge and different plans and schemes throughout. And she's a really good instigator, mentally, emotionally. But like I love the fact that she's a black woman because it works on a metatextual level of like most successful revolutions probably have like a black woman or a woman of color at the start of it that plays a significant role but doesn't get like good credit for it. So why would that not apply to like a superhero uprising where there's a black woman behind the scenes? So it's like, yeah, the black woman is usually the one that does that. I'm like, huh, the boys team. I wouldn't expect you to have been that attentive to history to be able to make like commentary like that of someone acknowledging that and then using it to their like advantage. Where she's like, you know, it's like, oh wow, the smartest person on the planet is a black woman. I feel like the boys is trying to tell us something. So I loved her and like her giving herself a lobotomy just to fuck the deep, leading to I think the best joke all season, where him and new Black Noir were like running down the hallway to admit that they loved her, and she's just like getting him the fuck out the way. He's like, wait, did she lobotomize herself too to fuck you? He's like, lobotomize. I'm like, oh.
that was so funny.
He looked at him like he was crazy. Bro, it's just like lobotomize. It's like, oh no. Like as someone who, you know how there's that saying like the worst thing she can say is no, which isn't true. The worst thing she can say is ew. The worst rejection I've ever got, and I keep it somewhere to keep myself humble as I navigate this life. Was I think a woman saying, I'm not going to lower my standards enough to sleep with you. Lobotomizing yourself to fuck somebody is a whole different yeah, that happened. College was rough. But like, she was bad too. So it's just like, ooh. But, fucking lobotomizing yourself is somehow like a step below that.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad. Damn.
It's like I disabled myself to sleep with you because I needed to get the stupid out by getting the stupid in.
I needed to lessen myself. I need to literally give myself brain damage to be the person to fuck you.
I had to literally incur a mental disability in order to have sex with you. Which is insane. It's like, but then you also get lines like, "I'll let you ass fuck me while we watch Transformers 2," which I'm like, that'd be something the Deep was into.
Definitely. Because didn't you say something about the racist robots as well? Like,
Yeah, the one with the racist robots, which it is. One of them was played by Tom Kenny. People don't talk about that, which is fine.
Oh.
Yeah, SpongeBob was a racist robot. It is what it is. Hey, still love him. But shout outs to Chase Crawford, the guy that plays the Deep. He's fucking funny.
He's so good.
Just like in his performance, especially with like him killing his octopus girlfriend, which like it
Played by Tilda Swinton.
Yes, that's who it was. Yeah, she was really good, and really smart because she's an octopus. They're genius animals. But that was definitely one of the moments of the show, and this says a lot considering this is the boys we're talking about, where like the joke kind of went past being funny, and I actually did start to get a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, when she was just like there dying in the cage or in the closet, I was like, oh my god, this is awful.
Dying slowly via suffocation, where it's just like because it broke the rule of threes. Which again, it's like isn't too unexpected for the boys, but it was just so long of just like listening to her scream in agony. I'm just like, all right, and he's just like there. I'm just like, bro, just go. I'm like, okay, well at that point he's gonna go back in and save her. Please help me! I can't breathe anymore. It's like it's starting to not be funny and just be very, very sad and disturbing to hear. Which I guess is the point of the boys, but it's like. Usually we're on the joke, but it's like Eric and Crow. It's like I don't know about this one. The drowning, the suffocating octopus might be a little much for my sensibilities. Blasting people to smithereens with laser eyes is one thing, but an octopus dying. Now you, what's the line from Community? I can tolerate racism, but I draw the line at animal abuse. You can tolerate racism?
Wait, is that the actual line from the show?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I think verbatim.
It's been a minute since I watched Community. I'm due for a rewatch.
Yeah, there's a really good Beetlejuice Brit joke in that series. If you can find it on YouTube, it's really, really funny. What else was there? There was speaking of just like righteous retribution, Homelander getting revenge on like the scientist that tortured him. I'm like,
oof.
Now Homelander's not a good guy. I'm not on his side. I don't agree with his politics, but he did what he had to do. That's all I'm saying. Like, look, look. I'm not saying that you need to get revenge on the people who abused you to overcome your trauma. But sometimes it don't hurt to know that they're miserable. Like I'm not saying that it's required. You can heal independently if you're willing to put in the time, effort, and patience. But if you want to go and take them off the map, hey, shit, I'm not your pastor. I'm not your boss, your God, or your father. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not going to say he was right. But I'm not saying he was wrong neither. Like when he put that boy in the toaster,
woof,
cook
that boy.
When he put old boy in the toaster, when he came down with the ice cream cake, he's like, "Come on, it's gonna melt. Come on, everybody, come around, get a slice." I'm like, this is the most like the tension in the air was thicker than the cake was.
Oh.
Shit was that Fudgy the Whale cake came down, and they knew it would be the last meal.
Yes. because
like,
all of them die.
fuck.
Also, him making that guy masturbate in front of everybody, and then
Woo.
bleeding his dick off. That
Yeah,
was a
another one of
different
those
kind of
moments.
humiliation.
Another one of moments in the show where I'm just like, all right, we might have gone too far in some places. I understand. I understand why you did it. I don't know if I needed to see it. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't think you would show it.
Oh yeah.
And now I've blocked it out of my mind for my own sanity. But it's just like, oof.
Speaking of characters that should be irreparably fucked up, Huey this season went through it, my boy. Oh my god.
Oof.
This man lost his father. He got violently assaulted by multiple people.
Yeah.
And he got his mother back. His girl, he fucked a shapeshifter. And
he fuck her 30 times, I think 32 times in a couple days. He was rip roaring and running through that pussy.
That boy turned to Bugs Bunny real quick. The Energizer
like,
Bunny.
goddamn. Like, and I know some people were mad about how, because Starlight was upset after like what she went through with her own trauma and everything, and I'm like, no, that was actually like a pretty realistic and human. Like, I wasn't upset at either person because, like, ultimately he did come around and realize it before everybody else and pointed it out.
Yeah,
and was able to like get the shapeshifter caught. But it's like, and I understand it. It's like, what? So, it's like, oh, you just let yourself get off with the shapeshifter and shift. He's like, yeah, because you know what? For 3 days, you seemed like you enjoyed being alive, which I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's like you went through a lot of horse shit for the last like couple years of life and being on the run and dealing with like these with these like fascist motherfuckers, and we're fighting superheroes. For us to have 3 days of just like fucking and being happy, to know that you were in a good mood for 72 hours after like I lost, my dad and shit. I feel like you kind of need that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an irrational thing for it's like, oh, you have joy in your spirit. That makes me want to be strong, especially after me dealing with my trauma. So I was like, yeah, me realizing you were kidnapped, it was quick, but it's like, well, also, fuck was he supposed to do?
Right.
To the shapeshifter once he realized it.
Because wasn't the shapeshifter the finale, or was that the episode before the finale?
That was when she shows up, or
when she shows up, yeah.
When she shows up, I think it's 2 episodes before.
Okay, because I feel like he got assaulted by Tech Knight.
Yeah.
Man, I think the episode before the penultimate.
Yeah, you got spanked and had your butt cheeks ran by fucking racist Batman,
who never actually suits up, surprisingly enough.
It's fine by me. I think we're better off not seeing him in his crazy leather gimp outfit.
Fair, very fair.
Although seeing Ashley and hers, I'm like, I haven't looked at you at this light, and it's making me reevaluate some things. I don't know how to feel about it.
Also, the moment of that episode that fucking wrecked me was Webweaver's safe word being Zendaya.
What's the safe word? It's Zendaya. I'm like, it's not like a horse. Just, it's
Zendaya. The way he said it, delivered it too. Also,
and what's so crazy is like it's such an unnecessary line.
It really is.
That had jack shit to do with anything because they never wound up using it, and he died. So it's not like that line was coming back. It was literally just a punchline, and I'm just like, yeah, it's funny. It's really funny. Jesus, it's funny. But that episode in and of itself was like tense. That was when Sage got shot dark. And just started eating cake.
Yeah, with her hands.
Just like, ah. And Homelander's like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? All the racists were gathered in one room. What's her name? Victoria Newman had to set shit off. God damn. Oh, I was mad at Homelander when he lasered her in the eyes and it didn't do anything to prove that she was a suit.
On TV, that
when
was
he blew her whole spot up, I'm like, you dumb son of a bitch. Like, God damn it. Can't let your ego be just off to the side. Can't not be in charge of shit for 2 seconds while she sorts the shit out.
Petulant child, right?
A fucking man, baby. The stuff with his son, which, man, I feel bad for his kid.
Yeah, that was
respect
so
for the respect.
Mallory didn't have to go about it that way.
Yeah. How Mallory went out was tough. I do want to give props to his actor for like just being in the middle of puberty while filming the show and how much it was impacting his voice. Performance was fine, but it was just like his voice, I know, definitely had a lot of oscillations, and I know that can't be like a puberty is not a fun experience. Yeah, it's like it's not a fun process to go through, but I mean it does fit the characters. It's just like he's growing up and getting older, so it makes sense for that to happen. It just kind of this is unfortunate timing, really, for his.
Yeah, I know he got kind of made fun of on the internet.
Some people tease him, and it's just like let's leave the kids alone because he's still a very, very talented actor who did like a real good job with the material he was given because it was some hefty stuff, a lot of back and forth. I mean, Butcher was in and out off his rocker. Man, Mother's Milk. Which what's hilarious is people thought he got recast and all he did was lose weight and shave. I'm like, you motherfuckers really can't tell black people apart, can you? You really can't. Like, I looked at him, I'm like, is he okay? He does like look different. Is he good? And he's like, it's like, oh, he lost weight and shaved.
Became Mother's MLK.
God damn it. I mean, low key.
Just like that, man.
He's still one of my favorites in the show, and I'm glad that he was able to, get his family back from that asshole from the season prior. Although he got killed in a crazy way. The other dad, the white stepdaddy.
Oh yeah,
got beaten to death.
Jesus, yeah, that was fucked up. That was a crazy scene. Ugh. Also, we got our first real fight scene between the Seven and the boys. Which I'm like, I don't know why they didn't just fucking kill the Deep. They should have killed his ass. Remember at the tower?
Yeah. And then he lucked out because the new Black Noir is narcoleptic. Also, he can fly.
Right. Which is
like, that's a cool ass power.
Right. I'm sure that would be useful to some point before.
I'm glad, based off what I understand too about the BTS, that when they needed to replace Noir, they just used his stunt double. I'm like, well, that probably saved you some time and money.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, we'll just keep him and he talks now. I'm just like, well, that's smart.
Yeah, why not? What was your opinion of them just teasing or having in characters from Gen V? They're just there.
I mean, I'm fine with it. They just didn't really have anything to do up until like the end, like the end part of the finale, which honestly I think would have made slightly more sense for them to show up there. Like them showing up at the end finale makes sense. Just fucking people up left and right. But them showing up before him where it's like, yes, the Guardians of Godol. The ending of Gen V just, it upsets me greatly. Not because it's bad, but because it's like, fuck. Like, this bullshit always happens. We can't have happy endings.
Right. Plus, I don't know what the fuck they're about to do now that we've lost Chance.
Yeah, and I don't... Did they say they're not going to recast?
They did, yeah. They're not going to recast.
Which I'm like, okay.
They already finished filming season 2.
Yeah, they've started... They're in the middle of filming it.
Wait, did they finish or are they in the middle? I know that they definitely started.
They've started. I want to say they're in the middle of it. I don't think they finished yet. Because if that's a whole season... Because that's probably coming out next year, so they're probably in the middle of it now.
Okay. That makes sense.
Oh, minor aside, but it's still related to the boys. We also got confirmed that we're getting another prequel. Not another. We're getting a prequel focused on Soldier Boy and Stormfront.
I did see that, which
Do we
is
need a show
interesting.
about the white supremacists?
I don't know. What was it called again? Like Vought's First, or like
I
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I think it is like Vought's First, which again, they're great actors. I
Yeah,
don't really need a show about white supremacists being evil. Like I feel like The Boys already tackles that well enough, and then Gen V also tackles that fine as much as it needs to, like adjacently. So
yeah. We should have to see how they execute it. But
I mean, I'm
also
sure it's
speaking,
good, but the premise alone, I'm just like they have good writers, it's a good cast, but I'm just like, what are you gonna do that's really gonna shock me that much? That's different from like the news, like evil racist bigots are gonna be evil, racist, and bigoted. Like I don't, and we know they're not gonna lose because so it's like the stakes don't seem particularly great.
it's like Vought Origins or something like that. I genuinely don't remember what they're gonna do.
I think it's Vought Rising,
Vought Rising.
something
Did
like that.
you did you hear? Speaking of great actors, did you hear he was joining season 5 of The Boys?
I think Jared Padalecki's finally supposed to be joining, isn't he?
Oh, I didn't hear that one. But I did hear to see confirm that Daveed Diggs is joining season 5.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, good for him. I like him. So,
I don't know what if he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy, but yeah, Daveed Diggs is going to be in Boys season 5.
which I mean, how are we feeling? Seeming like we're coming on, I believe, our last season.
I feel good. I feel like it's about time. Like I thought
Yeah, it's a
I
good
didn't
run.
think Homelander would last 5 seasons, and seeing what the show is now leaving us with superheroes now being in charge. Superheroes
Mm-hmm.
are, I guess, martial law, are rounding up people. The odds are definitely not stacked against the boys and, humanity in general.
Yeah,
You see,
especially with
it's
go ahead.
utopian, it's, the mutants are on top. This is good. This is a good.
The anti X-Men 97. Yeah, and it's interesting now that we have like a fully tumored, whacked out, genocide minded what's his name? Fucking Butcher. The rest of the boys are.
He killed Newman with his fucking tumor tentacles.
Which what the fuck? I was like, oh, they're not gonna. He ripped her right in half. I'm like, okay, those are stakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what of the daughter? Oh, going to the orphanage where the Gen V kids used to be. Uh-oh. Well, or where the girl used to be, where the bloodbender used to be. God, her power's so fucking sick. But he was like, okay, that's terrifying. Most of the boys got captured. Not most. All the boys got captured except for Butcher. Um, Mother's Milk got the most disrespectful one. Um,
Mother's Milk got disrespected, bro. Like,
yeah, fucking Love
oh, with
Sausage
the
came back
weenie.
out.
He also got fucking webbed in the face.
Yeah. Oof. But I don't know. It's a good setup to the end, and I'm definitely curious how Gen V season 2 is going to go and how the two are going to culminate. And we know that Soldier Boy is coming back.
Soldier Boy's coming back. Also, that bald chick came back from season 2, which I was surprised they finally brought her back. The one
Oh
who's
yeah,
looking
the
for
one that like
11.
blows people up or blows up
Yeah.
their heads.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the boy's 11.
yeah, yeah.
Millie
So
Bobby
it's
Boys.
Millie Bobby Boys. Um, yeah, she's trying to think about what else happened this. Oh, did we talk about like Firecracker just being a pitiful sack of shit? Like
Oh, she's the worst.
I briefly for a moment, and I do like how they did it, where it's like for a brief moment they pointed out how she got to where she is and why she does what she does. Where it's like I want to give these people some level of hope and faith in something they can believe in, even if it's like nonsense conspiracy series. Because if they didn't have that, like that very sad, unfortunate beacon of hope, they'd just be like entirely lost, which does speak to a group of people. And also her having animosity towards Annie because she treated her like shit as kids. I'm like, you know what? Those are human motivations that I can understand. But that bitch still sucks. And I'm glad she got her ass whooped on TV. Oh, it felt good. Like, you know,
it felt great.
The actress performed it well. I hope she didn't actually get injured. But man, for me to hate her ass like I did, woo. Yeah, she acted the shit out of that role.
Oh, she barely got fucking powers. She got like a little bit of
she got fucking Jubilee powers.
Barely.
Just pet. And got her dome totally rocked. Yeah, she got
Not as rocked as Homelander when he saw that milk squirt out.
I'm bricked. I think that concoction is going to kill her, by the way. I think that's going to be
definitely. That's what I thought they were leaning towards, but I guess they kind of dropped it or saved her.
The way that he looked at her, because she comes like, no, it's just some of the medication, you know, for you. And he looked at her like patient zero with COVID, just like
sit down there. Sit all the way over there.
Oh,
I'm like, damn.
Scoop, bitch.
Dude, cold as hell.
I'm like, ooh, it's a cold world. Yeah, he was sucking them titties like it had the milk of Jesus Christ itself in there.
Sucking titties for life.
So what do we think happened to Ashley after she took up the compound V while she was on the run?
Oh, she became the leader.
Because she's bald?
Bald and her head got big.
I think she turned into like just some like the Blob, just some mass of pink hair and skin.
I feel like she's going to be somebody now who can compete with Sage, but she's like big-headed and uglier.
I think she's just became a monstrosity and didn't really get any cool powers. I think she's just been disfigured, and that's how we're gonna find her in a couple years. Trying to think anyone else we didn't talk about. I mean, like Huey got a terrible brush. Oh, we finally heard Kimiko speak. That shit was, I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. You think you can do this shit to me? We finally get to hear Kimiko speak, and she says no in pure terror. I'm like, y'all suck. I was waiting for her to say some shit all season, and they're like, okay, here you go, monkey paw. Like,
damn. Like, yeah, she broke her vow of silence for Frenchie. It was crazy. And I wonder if she's going to start talking now next season. Does she have to return, or we're going to use that sparingly?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Starlight story was cool, I guess, for the most part. Just kind of trying to navigate it. Yeah, she was definitely traumatized too. Whew. That shapeshifter must have been wearing Huey out. It had her stuck in there with a bunch of Lunchables and shit. It was like, it's been really hard fucking your man the last 3 days. I'm like, this bitch is evil and needs to be destroyed. Like,
devastating. Like, why would she play with his emotions like that too? Ugh.
Proposed and everything. We should get married right now. I'm just like, fuck.
You're evil. You're an evil person.
It was like, oh, this bitch. And to her credit, what's her name? Erin Moriarty. She was really good as like both of them, as like, Starlight and evil Starlight.
Yeah, she acted the shit out of that scene.
Yeah, she was acting down, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where things go for these next few shows. We're entering our last years of the boys, and I think that's okay. Eric Kripke has done a great job. I think it's a solid season overall. I enjoy they do, to their credit, while there may be critiques that can be made about like the boys themselves and the storylines they kind of pick for them or see them as a little slow. Whenever they introduce new characters, I think they do a real good job with them. whenever they, like Soldier Boy's been fun. Firecracker sucks in the best way. I love Sister Sage, you know, so it's like when they introduce new people, I think they're doing well. Like even Stormfront was good at what she did. So yeah, any thoughts on the boys, and we'll maybe talk about Invincible and get out of here.
Yeah, no, I feel pretty satisfied.
Okay. Yeah, so let's do Invincible season 2. Good, strong. Don't ever do that cut in half shit ever again, though. It fucked with the momentum immensely. But
Yeah,
well,
it
I don't think it hit the same as the first season, but it was still very good overall.
was very good. Yeah, and you read the comics, so you know what to expect this season going in. But yeah, the way they constructed the mystery of season 1 was really good. And yeah, because I feel like with season 1, it felt like a completed season, and like they adapted a comic book to be a season of television, whereas this felt like a chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. They've introduced Nissa, and every day draws closer that I fear for the future. Just because there's a good storyline, but I'm worried that they're going to do a bad job at adapting it. But it was like, no, they did them well. How they adapted the storylines well. There are jokes that they pulled from the comics that they redid to work for the medium, and that's what I think makes a strong adaptation, is how you're able to even take something from the page and like reapply it in a way that works. It's all good, man. Yeah, we'll get out of here soon. But
Invincible season 2 was good. You know, we got to start with Omni-Man, the bug people. Him and Amber broke up. That shit felt realistic.
yeah.
We got to see a little bit more of Adam Eve. You know, Rex is seemingly coming into his own as a character.
Oh yeah, the death of the Guardians was, whoa, that was fucked. When they fought the Lizard League.
Yeah, but then none of them actually died.
Yeah, because
Kate Zero was around, and then the Shrinking Ray didn't die, and then Rex.
Some the fuck how Shrinking Ray didn't die. She definitely seemed dead. Rex walked off with significant brain damage. Yeah, they came out of that fucked. I think that was way grittier than it had. There were definitely some deaths in the book, if I recall. But oh yeah, and the shit with the villain. Fuck, what's his name? Angstrom Levy. Woo! Oh, that bitch sucks. Oh, I can't stand his big brain ass. But yeah, he was well done. Season 3 is going to be a doozy because I think we have Invincible War coming soon, and fuck. But yeah, it's good. Just don't split the season in half again. Otherwise, keep up the good momentum.
Yeah, I think they did a great job thus far. Keeps the intrigue, and I'm excited to see where they keep going.
Yeah, like it's just keeping on ahead. I hope we can just make this a nice, cool annual series, so we won't have to wait as long. You know, they do a good job with the episodes. The action is good. The animation is good. I want that consistency. I want them to get through it, but it's going to be a long, long time before they get through it all. But yeah, way to go, Invincible. Can't wait till season 3, probably November of next year or some shit.
You guys killed it. Don't take as long between seasons this time. And
yeah. Like do it right. You know, take your time. I'm not going to rush you, but give us a little bit. Give us a little something in between. Give us them specials, and that'll tide us over.
Let's give us something to feed on.
So yeah, give us a crossover with the boys. Fuck it.
Hey, I ain't mad at that.
I'm not either.
Also, shout out to them doing an actual Spider-Man, or like a homage to Spider-Man with
Charles. The pulling off the Agent Spider, that was really cool. Damn, yeah, that was some cool ass shit. Yeah, the multiverse port. I feel bad for people that think Mark and the multiverse shit, because there's more coming, is like, oh no, they're trying to shoehorn that in. when that's actually directly from where it is in the comics. They did a bunch of multiverse shit like 10 years before Marvel did in the movies. So it's like multiverse shenanigans is very common in comic books. So it makes sense that Invincible has its own. And it's very early. It's just like the timing of that storyline is a little unfortunate.
So I'm curious how they the intersection between the Viltrumite War and the multiverse stuff and how that's going to collide, or if one's going to happen then the other, or like those things are both connected.
Without spoiling anything, in sequence of events, as far as I recall, they're very, very close.
Okay.
It's like one then the other, and Mark doesn't get a good chance to recover.
God damn.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's like, whoo, I think I'm good. Next thing, it's like, oh fuck. Like,
wow.
So yeah, the close proximity. Still a great book. Still a really good show, but
Also, the fucking paradox of not paradox maybe, but older Alice Eve telling Mark that she's into him on the cusp of him breaking up with Amber, which then puts the idea of being with Eve in his head in the first place. Or not put the idea, but
yeah,
gives him that push.
It's a pseudo paradox. It's almost a paradox. But it's a different.
And then Rex is robot. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. This. It won't be the last time you see that timeline. Is all I'll say.
Okay, I look forward to it. I had a feeling it wouldn't be the last time.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, cast is killing as always. Writing's always good. They do a great job. So just keep it up. Well, all right. That's been our superhero roundup. We can talk about other things in the future. And probably by the time this episode comes out, all of that drama shenanigans will blow over. But yeah, protect Black women. Keep them safe. Yep. Look on them. Look out for them. Check for them. Be kind to them. But outside of that, Aaron, where can people find you at, man?
You can find me at Instagram at The Real Aaron Alexander, like real life. And you can find me at TikTok at The Real Aaron Alexander, but real like film real. And you can also find me on The Real Rejects, watching movies and TV shows and all that sweet jazz.
Woo! And you're really good for me. You can find me on Instagram at Will the Greatest, all one thing. You can find me on YouTube at Will the Greatest. It's the same, just with spaces. And yeah, so don't forget to like the show, share the show with your friends, comment where you can comment, and rate the show 5 stars. And we will see y'all in the next one. Who knows? Maybe it'll be another month. All right, but y'all have a good one. Bye.